All right, everyone. So we're going to take a short break from all of the artifact insanity that has been going on to talk about some other news and announcements for Raid Shadow Legends, including some new information about Battle Pass Season 2, as well as the future timeline of how they plan on releasing updates for Raid Shadow Legends. And this includes patch 1.15 as well. That's right, not 1.14, but a little bit of information about the scheduled timeline for 1.15. Now, speaking of 1.14, that patch is actually technically out right now, but the features are not available until later on. Now, Valkyrie posted this in the Raid Shadow Legends Discord, and I'm not going to lie, when I read the first sentence, I got really excited because I thought the patch was out and ready to play, but I forgot that Raid Shadow Legends kind of does it a bit differently, where they release the actual data, but then they give it some time because it's optional, and after, a certain period of time, like the next day or so, if you haven't downloaded it yourself, optionally, then you're forced to download the new patch, and then they deploy the features. So not really too sure exactly why it works that way. Maybe it's a Plarium thing, maybe it's a an app store type of thing, but Valkyrie posted, "Happy Monday, Raiders. As most of you have seen already, we're releasing version 1.14 today. You can update the current version to a new one in your stores already, but the features of the patch won't be available yet. We are planning on switching them on shortly. We will reboot the server later, and all the new features finally become available. We will keep you updated." So this was posted at the time of me recording the video about 9 hours ago or so, and I've heard from the Diamond on Discord that the patch and the features should all fully be available in the morning in Russia time. So that's probably going to be like really late night for most people watching the video, depending on where you live. So at the time that this is uploaded, probably within the next 12 hours or so. Now, second post by Valkyrie, guys, as I announced earlier, we've already launched a so-called light update, a new version that is available for download. However, most of the features that it should include are not active yet. The next phase is a forced update. We do want to give players some time to update the current version to a new one, so that is why we're going to launch a forced update. That's when we reboot the server and all the new features finally become available. Tomorrow, we will keep you posted. Have a great day. So again, I'm not really too sure the exact reasoning, if it's a Plarium thing or if it's an App Store thing, but I got really excited for a second when I first read that, but seems like we'll have to wait at least a few more hours. Now, speaking of the actual patch itself and the notes, I know I already talked about this in a video from a little while ago where we went over the preliminary notes given to content creators, so I'm not going to spend much time on this because we've already talked about it. However, I will leave a link in the description to this if you want to take a look at it on your own in a little bit more detail. This should pretty much be all of the features in the actual patch, unless they kept something secret or hidden from us. We kind of have a pretty good understanding of what 1.14 is going to be, but for those of you guys who want a little bit of further confirmation, the Diamond posted that once 1.14 is released, notes will be added to the game, plus the detailed patch notes should appear on the forum tomorrow. I'll share the link here. So just keep an eye out to when that forced update comes. We'll have the actual patch, the features of the patch, as well as all the actual information about it as well. So now, I haven't really had time to make this into a whole video. Honestly, I didn't think I really need to, because 1.14 is really mostly a major quality of life patch. So normally when we get updates for Raid Shadow Legends, I like to talk about some things that you want to do before the actual patch comes out, just to prepare yourself. But because this is mostly a quality of life patch, I can kind of just quickly tell you guys what they are in this video, because it's really not a whole lot. So if you guys really want to take a couple hours to just get ready and really prepare yourself, the only few really big tips that I have are, with 1.14, of course, we are going to be getting that major overhaul to the artifact menu, and you'll be able to actually go through and search the stats of your artifacts. Now, I know that when this feature comes out, it's going to be really tempting for me to go and immediately try to find some of those hidden treasures of artifacts that I have buried away. So if you guys want to play around with the artifact system right when it comes out, it's going to be really tempting to switch out some artifacts on your champions, maybe see that you actually had some upgrades available to you that you didn't actually realize until this feature is available. So, maybe if you want to stock up a little bit of extra silver in the few hours or so before the patch comes out, just so you don't run into that problem where if you don't have any silver at all, you want to try to swap an artifact and then you can't even do so. So, you don't even need a ton. Just if you want to switch around a few artifacts here and there, that's a little bit of a suggestion right there. Now, of course, in the actual patch notes as well, there's going to be a lot of champions that are getting rebalanced, so this is a good time to actually go through and see if you guys have any of the champions that were in the list of champions that are going to get rebalanced. Maybe get them ready to test out and see kind of how these changes had an impact on those champions. See some of the champions, if they weren't really that viable, maybe they're a lot better now, and just kind of get ready and get prepared to see how the actual changes affected the champions by being able to go through and test them out. Because it's one thing to read out what the changes are of the notes. It'll definitely give you a much better idea when the patch is live to actually go through, and if you have the champions, see how the changes affected them. And the last thing that I want to mention is not only did they change specific champions, their skills and abilities, but they are also going to be making changes to Leech, Fear, and the Veil buffs and debuffs. So if you have any champions that utilize those kinds of buffs and debuffs in any of their skill kits, I know Leech got a pretty significant buff, and Fear had some changes, Veil had some changes, so also going to be a good time to just go through after the patch on any kind of champions where their skill kit involves those buffs and debuffs and test out to see how that actually had an impact on the gameplay. Because, you know, it's one thing to look at the notes and see what they're actually doing, but then testing it out, you might realize that the changes are either more significant or less significant than you actually anticipated. So that's pretty much it when it comes to my little advice for the patch, because it mostly is quality of life. You don't really need to spend a lot of time preparing for any kind of new features or new content or anything like that. Now, let's get into some information about 1.15 and the upcoming Battle Pass, because this was very interesting. This definitely caught me by a little bit of surprise when I actually read this from the Diamond on Discord. And the Diamond posted there will be a gap between Season 1 and Season 2. Most probably Season 2 comes with 1.15. This is very interesting. Now, when I read 1.15, I was very worried because you guys know how Plarium has been with updates, especially the infamous 1.13, which took many months, lots of delays, lots of hype and teasers for an update that just kept getting delayed and pushed back. So, you know, I really thought to myself, man, this could be a long time before we actually see Battle Pass Season 2 come out. But then the Diamond posted another response saying it's going to be similar to 1.135 and 1.13.5 and 1.14. This is talking about the upcoming patch 1.15. The gap should be approximately a month. No more 3-month waiting period like 1.13. Now, I completely understand if you guys are still skeptical about this, as am I. It's one thing to say that they plan on releasing patches on a consistent basis 1 month apart. They seem to have definitely gotten a lot better when it comes to their update schedule since 1.13, but, you know, I'm still not 100% there yet. We're going to have to wait and see if they can stick with another couple of patches, actually maybe implement some new content. You know, quality of life is great, but we're really striving for some new content as well, and show that they can go many patches and many months by sticking to this consistent basis. I'll definitely take this stuff a lot more seriously, but for now, I completely understand the skepticism because that's kind of where I'm at as well. So either way, though, 1.15 is going to be similar to 1.13.5 and 1.14, and there's going to be approximately a 1 month gap. So we know that Season 2 is not going to be coming out for at least a month or so, and that's a pretty long time. I'm really surprised when I kind of read this and added it all up. You know, I thought it was only going to be a couple of days or so, but a full 1 month gap is very interesting. And I want to talk about in a second my reason why, and this is not confirmed information. This is just my reason why I think that there's going to be a 1 month gap between Season 1 and Season 2, because I don't think that they're doing it unintentionally. I still think it would be smart for them to release it with 1.14. It seems like releasing new battle passes when new content comes out, people always come back for new patches. It just seems like the smart thing to do, but I definitely think that there are hidden reasons that are not really fully public yet why they are leaving a month gap between Battle Pass 1 and 2. Now, the other thing that I'm still trying to get clarification from the Diamond on, I have not gotten a response yet. I will let you guys know when I can, is he mentioned that it's going to be similar to 1.13.5 and 1.14, and he's referencing patch 1.15, by the way. The reason why I blacked out the text is because that contains messages from other people who I do not have confirmed permission to share those messages with you guys. Unlike from the Diamond, he did confirm and write to me that I am allowed to share the information and the messages that he discloses with you guys. I don't have that. I'm sure it would be fine, but I want to take that extra precaution, so that's why you'll see a lot of these messages blacked out right there. But he is referencing patch 1.15, and I want to know if what he means by this is 1.15 also going to be another quality of life patch? Because 1.14 is pretty much all quality of life champion rebalances. Are we actually going to see some new content? We've been waiting on the Void Tower for a really long time. We've been waiting on a lot of features in the actual roadmap. We're now getting into April, so the year is a quarter of the way over, and we still have a long ways to go on last year's roadmap. So I really don't know. Like I said, I think they are generally moving in the right direction, but we still got a ways to go before I can 100% really take everything that they say word for word and fully believe it. So now that idea of that gap between between season 1 and season 2, we do know it is confirmed that there is going to be a fusion coming up soon. We know this. So I'm wondering if the reason why there's going to be a 1 month gap between Battle Pass Season 1 and 2 is because they don't want another Battle Pass season starting at the same time as the Fusion. Now, there could be a lot of different reasons why, and again, this is not confirmed, this is just kind of my theory, but if you add it up, that seems to be a pretty reasonable explanation, so I would not be surprised if pretty shortly after 1.14 comes out, we're going to see some sort of announcement for the upcoming Fusion, and then when everything for the Fusion ends, that's when we're going to start to see news and information about 1.15 and Battle Pass Season 2. Now, the only other, this is complete tinfoil hat theory, 100% not confirmed, but when they do release the fusions, we know that there is a giant champion training event that is always attached to them, very similar to the one that we have right now, like a 30,000 point champion training, and there is a relatively significant XP boost that you can end up getting from the Battle Pass. So I'm wondering if they're releasing the new fusion without Battle Pass Season 2 so people can't take advantage of the Battle Pass experience boost in order to actually work on the fusion easier. Now again, maybe I'm digging into this a little bit too deeply, but there's going to be a month gap, and I'm guessing that there's some sort of reasons that we just don't know yet of why there's a full month period of time between Season 1 and Season 2. So that's pretty much all the information of Raid Shadow Legends related that I have to share with you guys, though. Of course, today I did not spend any time talking about the craziness that's going on with the artifact enhancement discovery, and I will say that I have been working on that a lot over the last 12 to 18 hours. I've definitely found more crazy information, even crazier than the stuff that I found yesterday. I know that's hard to believe, but I kind of want to take a little bit of time to fully 100% make sure that it's right, do a little bit more testing, and be rest assured, as soon as I am 100% about it, I will let you guys know as soon as possible. So probably within the next day or so, expect more information about the craziness with artifact enhancement that has been going on. With that all being said, though, that's going to be it for the video today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed. And if you did and you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to help out, feel free to leave a quick like. It means more than you can imagine. And more Raid Shadow Legends videos should be popping up on the screen right about now. Feel free to check them out. But if not, until next time, this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.